But I have very fond memories of Kathy. Kathy, to me, was not just a friend. She was a sister. In school, she was very brilliant. She was actually an A student. When your student calls you here at short notice, you obey. Ken was a student. Indeed, as quite a few of my cousins were my students. And I'm so happy that I had a chance to interact with them at an early age. Of course, I didn't teach Kathy or Frida because the difference in our years were like 10 years for Kathy and 14 for Frida. Frida and I used to call each other Ntago. In Kimero, that is the person, you are named after the same person, so we used to call each other Ntago. The irony is that Kathy's middle name is Nkaba, which is also my middle name. So technically, she can also be my Ntago. And this, I've known these girls from when they were young. We had a chance to work in Nakuru when I taught Juliet and Edith. And I used to visit their home pretty often, practically every weekend. And I used to meet these girls whenever they were home. And I've never seen them not smiling or laughing. And that's what I want to take with me, what I want to remain with me. When I talked to Frida for the last time, the night she arrived in New York, she was sounding very low, and I said, obviously, I'll call her the following day when she's a bit settled. It was never to be. The last time I met her was during the graduation of one of her girls, and it was a truly blessed time. I'm so happy we went. And I made a point, she had a lovely, lovely blue dress. I think all of us can be. And I told her, Ntago, you need to show me who your tailor is. And she said, after Christmas, I will take you to the tailor. Okay, it was never to be. If the tailor is here, please. For Kathy, I last met her in November of 11 when we were at Terry's Memorial. I'm so happy I attended that because then I had the chance to meet Kathy. These are my sisters. In Kimero, really there is no cousin. We don't have a word for cousin in our vocabulary. They are sisters. My sisters are gone. As Eli said, they are absent in the body, but present in the Lord. And we thank God that they actually lived their life to the full. Thank you so much.
My name is Faye. Frida and Kathy are my cousins, and my sister Nelly. So I'll just say a few words on behalf of the cousins. First, I'm going to say some things that you're going to read in the tributes. And, it's important to keep remembering that these two women were special because they were so similar, and, we have these attributes that we're using to, talk about them. They were strong, they were beautiful, they were hardworking, they were good mothers. It's not, you can say all of those things about just anybody, and for them to be sisters and have all these in common, it is beautiful and it is wonderful. And now we as the cousins, of course, we saw all those attributes, and we were really and are really proud of them. And we looked up to them because, like, for most of us, they were older, and especially for the girl cousins, we would see how they would be, and we aspire to be like them. Apart from that, we want to remember the huge smiles, the love, that warmth. As much as they were really strong personalities and they were these successful women, they had that warmth. See that, whenever you would be around them, you would just feel nice, you would feel loved, and we appreciate that. And as cousins, I know all of us, we each have our stories, and we have had different experiences, and happy experiences, and we will keep remembering those experiences. Like I said before, the two sisters, they shared a lot in common. It's actually really hard to separate and say this one was like this and the other one was like this, because they were so similar in all their goodness. That is what we thank God for. They were there for those two small things. I don't know, you might see somebody as having this huge status and having this big personality, and you might think, maybe they are not that warm, but Kathy and Frida were really, warm to everybody. They would be there for all the family ceremonies. Kathy would be the one calling you and texting you on your birthday. We are so many cousins, but she knew everybody. And it's so, all of us, she knew us. And for Frida, we can't even start. She was my bestie. She would be there for weddings. If you had a graduation, she would be the one arranging, coordinating. You'd still find her, running around making sure everybody's okay. She would find her in the kitchen with her big status. You'd still find her in the kitchen, helping with the cooking and everything. And I think we were talking with my niece Yvonne, and Yvonne, where are you? Where are you coming? Yeah, she was there for us, and I know we are not the only ones. When we were starting out in life, just being there, having our backs, everything we needed, and I'm sure we are not the only ones, and we appreciate that. I won't take up too much time, but maybe just to finish, I know the two sisters were God-fearing women, and they were really good mothers. But as much as they were really, hands-on and good mothers with the kids, they were there for us. They still had that time for us. So we have to remember, how they were. And, as Julian said, to keep that legacy going, that's how we are going to remember them, by keeping it, going, and especially for these beautiful kids here. Thank you very much.
Let me say something. Background of this. Faye is my small sister. Frida was her mom. So that's why she's representing the cousins. Frida took it upon her to nurture her work-wise and life-wise. So she was a mother to many. She was her mom. Her baby. This is Frida's baby. We say Eli is Frida's handbag. And this is Frida's baby. Yeah. The only thing I can say, because we're out of time, I will miss Frida's name. I call her the golden lady, and she's the red hair. So red hair and golden. So my golden cousin and my red hair blonde cousin, and we'll miss their presence in every family function. Like I said, everyone has said, the powerhouse seated right there, and you immediately know that all things will be well. And thank you, Parklands Church, for feeding the energy into her. I've been to this church, and she would walk in and sit right there, and the church was packed, and she would always find space, and I thought, this is where the powerhouse feeds from. So thank you for that. Kay's social media presence, you may not know this, but every post every family member would make, she would comment on. She was a fan, she was everyone's fan. And you don't know what that does to people's emotional states. So she may not have been with us here most of the time, but she was feeding us her energy all the time. And when the groups were formed, I think most of you went through that experience. Every pop-up, because it started with Kathy,
I kept thinking, that's Kathy's post. That's Kathy's post. And then I have to remind myself, no. This is a group. And I am going to miss that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Cool. Brief.
That was good. All the time. And a time like this, God is still. My name is Asaya Spelima. I'm the uncle to Kabi and Frida, and also these two beautiful ladies here. One thing I can say as the immediate family, the extended family, friends, is a kind of shock. We never experienced this kind of thing before. Personally, when I was called, I was driving and at the park and I found the side and trying to imagine what would have happened. And the whole day I did not have strength. I was traveling very far, and when I came back I got to know what happened. I was very shocked. But what even shocked me more is 2 days later when I got the news of Frida. I got the news of Kabi on the 27th morning, and I got the news of Frida on the 29th. I did not believe, and actually I can confirm this now that I'm believing because I can see the congregation, so I'm now starting to internalize, but I was in denial. Kenya, my co-chairman, actually will see that I was really shaken. What I can say about Kabi and Frida, we went to school almost at the same time, although Kabi was ahead of us. Kabi was very brilliant. Everybody had to be the child. So you say, when I grow up, I want to be like Kabi. I happened to go to school in Nakuru. We were living in Nakuru as well, and I would visit during the holidays. One thing I can tell you, the attributes of these two, they have a big heart, and they are very generous. I remember when we go to school and we pass by to St. Jambo, before I had Tumelu, and I'll go to the farm to see cows. They are very beautiful cows. And when it's lunchtime, Kabi will come looking for me and tell me, please come and have lunch. They will not take lunch if I'm not present. They will rather wait and look for me wherever I was. So that was Kabi and Frida. Okay, Kabi moved to the US quite a while ago, but we kept on communicating. She kept on adding me into groups. Even the last group that she was posting for, she actually added me. And whenever she had anything new, she would write to me and tell me or give me that information. I know she was supporting some kids in a school in Nakuru, and when those kids were being admitted to that school, I was among the first people to know. And whenever she paid school fees for those kids she was supporting, she would actually post her receipts for me to see. So that is a very beautiful soul that has left us, and very generous. And we really wished to be like Kabi Wadimariana. For Frida, many people know Frida. Very big heart, very welcoming, very hardworking. Whenever I visited Frida, she would drop everything that she was doing and ask me. In fact, if you visited Frida, probably you go with a notebook and a pen because of the choices that were available. So if it is something to drink, you are on our list. What can I give you? What can I offer you? Tea, soda, chocolate, coffee. So you have a lot of choices. When it is food, the same. So Frida was very generous. You knew her, and I didn't respect Frida because she was a go-getter. Whenever she wanted something, nothing would stop her. And she would always tell me, this is what I intend to do. Do you think it is a good idea? So we have lost very beautiful souls, very good smiles. I was saying, okay, what do you call a beautiful smile? If it is a man's smile, is it a handsome smile or a beautiful smile? He has not answered me. Last but not least, I want to say, we are told God will come like a thief. Okay? I'm not saying we give Jesus a bad name, but I say Jesus came and snatched the souls. He came like a thief, I will not want to say it's a beef, but that's what they said. So, we like their beautiful smiles. What I will ask each and everybody who is here, please let us support the children after the funeral. Let's not disappear, let's not go away. And if it is possible, also visit the children, pray with them, give them the strength. And if you go like that, they will live to internalize this. And if there is any minimum support you can offer, please do. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Cousins and uncles. Thank you so much for me. I will sit now. We have only 5 minutes. Then I will pass the exam. If you do more than 5 minutes, I will fail. So I'm assuming John, please.
Thank you, Ken. For information, I was ahead of you, so the eyes are on me. Get that John will be my deputy. Thank you, everyone. My name is Joan Lewa. I'm a friend to Frida. I'll try to keep to less than 3 minutes. Sometimes it is good for the boss to listen to the deputy. Even in the Bible, it is the servant's girl who told him that Amesama went to go and boy. My name is John, as I say, and I really envy and Kay. It's amazing, they're just about 3 years apart. That means they grew up together, they played together. And another funny thing is that they both worked at Plan International. And then, it seems like their love blossomed from the backbone. That love I envy. I love my sisters, I love my friends, I love you, my children, but the one that I envy is that even that friendship, you can see, even in death. I remember during Happy's 50th birthday, Frida running around designing the program for her 50th birthday, spending all that money going all the way to the US just to celebrate Happy's 50th birthday. Where different such love. It's very, very rare people. And then again, even together again in death. That's the fact that I envy. And you can imagine the kind of seeds that they're going to bring up once they are planted, as much as we don't want to. So let us think enough now. As here on the sermon, 3 things remain, and the greatest is love. If we fail to remember anything about Happy and Frida, let us remember the love that we had for each other. One thing again I wanted to say about Frida is that Frida left no one behind. No one. And she reminds me of Andrew, who was John the Baptist's disciple. But when he saw Jesus, he followed Jesus and he said, Pastor, where are you living? Akamwambia, come and show you. And Andrew, once he became Jesus' disciple, the first thing he did was going to look for his brother. He didn't want to enjoy Jesus alone. He went and called Andrew. That was a character Frida also had. The many chamas we had, she wanted all her sisters to be that chama. We have to say about 27. Number Yvonne managed to get into one of them, and she also put me in other chamas. And some chamas, she never left me behind. I got to Elizabeth's house and remember sitting under a gazebo enjoying some wine. She introduced me to, I got to meet a lot of people. And I'm sure a lot of friends in this congregation can attest to how Frida never left anyone behind. She She always looked out. She was never biased, never respecter of persons. You've had the testimony about cooking for the homeless. Frida actually represents Matthew chapter 3, where Jesus said, I was hungry and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger and you invited me in. Is there anyone who was never touched by Frida who is here? And anyone who was touched by Frida that is here? Anyone? 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 Thank you. And let us be grateful for the life that we have had with Frida. Lastly, I want to share that Frida was a shining light that could not be hidden. In the book of Matthew chapter 5, it says, no one, after lighting a lamp, puts it under a bushel, but on a lampstand, and it gives light to all in the house. That was Frida to me, and as I speak on behalf of friends, Frida was that light. That light that never left anyone behind. Progressing, she wants everybody to grow with her. Falling, she's there to lift her. She was that light. If we forget everything about what we have learned today, let us remember the light of Frida and Ewa in our lives. And this is with a very heavy heart, but, and I've said this before, in the Lord's Prayer, and don't forget about Frida's prayerfulness. She was a prayer woman. She always went a step ahead. Remember when Jesus at the Garden of Gethsemane, the Bible says that he left the disciples and he went a little further to pray. Frida always went a little further. She did not let people who are sleeping, who has said, pray with me, pray for Kare, pray for Shea, pray for Roy. Like Jesus, she always went a step further. She would wake up at 4 o'clock. She yesterday I woke up at 5 and then prayed for Ki. Ki is a sister who was a real assistant and a friend. She always went a step further. So if you want to remember anything about Frida, remember the prayerful woman she was. Now we're here who went to a war because only in God. Now truly lastly, and like I said, this is with a heavy heart. The Lord's Prayer. Before we even ask to be given daily bread, before we even ask for forgiveness of sins, before we even ask those to be led into temptation, we say, hallowed be thy name, let thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. It is very hard, but we ask the Lord all the time. We say the Lord's Prayer. When His will has come to us. Mungu hana makosa. What we can do is to thank God for the time that gave us with Kay and Frida. Tusisahau kuhamishia yetu hiyo moja. And with Thanksgiving, I'd like us to sing very quickly.
Turn to the person next to you and give them a warm, infectious smile. This is what Kathy and Frida. When you look at the photos, they have such beautiful, infectious smiles. My name is Susan Lafayette, and my friendship with the Morocco family goes many years back. Both our fathers worked in the administration in the 60s and the 70s. And I first met Kathy in Mombasa in the 60s, the mid to late 60s. And she was in school with my 2 younger sisters at Star Seed. I was in another school not too far. A few years later, both our fathers were transferred to Nakuru. And we ended up in Nakuru, and our friendship continued. Kathy and I later went to Gandu Girls High School. And I remember her mom, because at the time when I went to Gandu, I had 2 younger sisters. They stayed in Mombasa and with my mother. So I was in Nakuru and spending more time with my father, and because Gandu was closer, I'd spend half time there. And even the holidays, and sometimes I'd go to Mombasa or my siblings would come up. And I remember Kathy's mom, and I think Kathy borrowed this from her mom, her big heart. Her mother was so generous. And Kathy actually got this from her mother, even Frida. At the beginning of the school term, she would pack so much food. And we would be in the car with all this food in the car. And she religiously took us to school, dropped us off every half term. She'd pick us again. And she did that for the entire 4 years that we were in Gandu. But I have very fond memories of Kathy. Kathy, to me, was not just a friend. She was a sister. In school, she was very brilliant. She was actually an A student. She was very curious, very inquisitive, and she always took a personal interest in wanting to know more about you. That never changed. And from all the tributes I have read, either on WhatsApp or even in the program, what her sisters have said about Kathy and her big heart, her infectious smile, and wanting to give back to the community, that really, truly was Kathy. She was a lovely person in high school with always an infectious smile. And I know for some of you, whenever you meet Kathy and smile, she would just break into a smile. She had such a beautiful smile. In early September last year, I remember speaking to her, and we had purpose to meet because she had come here earlier after Mom passed. And one of the Saturdays, I called her. She said, "Oh, I'm not back from Maryville, and so let's connect." So I went to pick her up at Liz's house in Karen, and we spent the whole day together, just catching up, reminiscing about our good old days.